everyone. My name is Dr. Laura Portales, and I'm with Nonprofit Accelerator. And I wanted to record this short video to talk a little bit about the scoring rubric that is going to be used for the Birth Equity Grant. I am currently on the Birth Equity Grant website, and if you look down under Submit an Application, you'll find the scoring rubric located there. So I'm going to click on that, and I will make that quite a bit bigger here. So a couple of things that are important to know about this rubric, and really any rubric in general. This is the document that organizations or that the DOH will be using to actually review the applications. So this document is really important before you submit your grant to go through and just make sure that you have thoroughly addressed all of the sections that are listed in the rubric. So let's take a look at those. So the first is the eligibility, and that's a funding phase sheet. And you can see located here the information that should be included and the point value for each of those items. So as you think about the application, of course, you want to make sure that you meet the eligibility criteria, but you also want to make sure that you've been very, very specific about the community that you're going to be serving with the grant, and and talk about the specific services that you're going to be provided specifically to that community. Our next section relates to the letters of support that are required. And what the team will be looking for when they review is that there are at least 3 letters included, and that the letters show enthusiastic support. They are directly from the community that you're going to be serving, and they indicate that you as an applicant are a trusted resource in the community for the services that you're proposing to offer for this grant. And again, you can see how each of these items are going to be scored. So when you think about asking for the letters of support, you just want to make sure that that all of these areas that are going to be scored on are definitely clear and concise within the letter that you submit. Our next section is the letter of interest, and you can see the total point value for the letter of interest is pretty significant. So if you look at each of these areas, I would recommend making each of these actually a heading for your within your letter of interest. So then it is very clear to the person and the people reviewing the grant that you have discussed each major area. This can also be a really good way to organize your thoughts by using those subheadings within your letter. So the content there, as noted in the request for application, you'll want to provide a brief organizational overview. You'll want to talk a little bit about your proposed purpose, your project plan, and the approach that you're going to use. You'll definitely want to address how your project connects to addressing the harms done by racism. And you also want to make sure to address how the work that you're proposing helps promote and advocate for body sovereignty. You'll also want to think about the activities that will be completed and address the how, what, what, how, who, and when. And a lot of this information is actually going to be in your project work plan template. So you can think of this as really an overview of this other document that you're going to be providing here. You also want to make sure to address your approach to providing mentorship and or reflective and therapeutic supervision and development opportunities to staff. So be sure to address that. You'll also want to talk about how this project will build capacity and sustainability within the communities that you're going to be serving. And also detail on how you believe this project, your proposed project, will improve the birth outcomes. And again, you can see how those are going to be scored. And of course, you're allowed 3 pages here, and that's not a lot of space. So my recommendation is to use charts, graphs, bullet points, anything that will allow you to be very, very clear and concise with that page limit. The next part is a project work plan, and this is where you're going to get into a lot of detail about the project work plan and what your goals are going to be and the activities that you're going to engage in to help you meet the outcomes and the goals. Of course, you'll want to make sure that all of the milestones on that template are realistic and that they're detailed, and that you show the services that you're providing are tangible to your clients and the individuals that you serve. So, and then again, another important aspect is the timeline. You want to just make sure that the timeline to accomplish each of the activities that you list is attainable and reasonable and realistic. Finally, the budget, which probably you know that there is an Excel spreadsheet that is fillable for you to use for the budget. And what we're looking for here is that there's an itemized budget that aligns with the goals that you've listed in the project work plan, and that there is calculated evidence in the budget form and in the narrative that 60% of the budget goes directly to serving families. If you're not quite sure what that means, there are quite a few items in the question and answer document on the website that addresses what might be considered the budget going directly to serving families. And then also, of course, you want to make sure that the budget that you proposed is enough to support the project plan in the project work plan template that you have provided. And of course, like with all of the others, there is scoring here as well. I definitely encourage you to use that bottom part of the spreadsheet to really provide a strong narrative and rationale as to not necessarily each individual item on your budget, but how this budget is going to be impactful for the goals that you've set forth. And that's the end of this video. And of course, if you have questions, feel free to jump back on the Birth Equity Project website, and we are available to help. Here are the hours that we're available here. And then there's also a link located, and you can feel free to drop in anytime during these hours, or you can email me. My email address is located here on the website if you have additional questions. That is it for now. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great day.